you didn't know you can make a killer music video for just $25. If you're an artist with million-dollar dreams, you need to stick around. At Hull TV 2, we're all about taking your wildest, quirkiest ideas and turning them into music videos that pop. Got just $25? No problem. We're the wizards of budget production, making even your craziest dreams come true. Our founder, Timothy Lawrence, yes, the emperor of the new American empire and ruler of Sealand Newham, believes in you. Chris Brown? We've got his vibes on our channel. Check it out. We've got the tools, the talent, and the passion to make your video go from zero to billboard. Think big, spend small, and watch your dreams come alive. Ready to make magic? Hit us up at 808-400-4740 or HullTV2@iCloud.com. Join the Hull TV 2 family today. This is Timothy Lawrence, signing off. Stay quirky, dream big.
We see the system. We know the system. We are aware of what is going on. How can TED Talk, Hull TV2, and all these other organizations that I work with from here, Hingham, Cohasset, all the way down to Marshfield. I mean, we have met with every single solitary mayor, selectman, you name it, we don't talk to them. Okay, we're gonna push this agenda. We're gonna move this agenda. And we're going to save the future and prepare the present for what's to come. That's where we're at.
So you got a lot of projects going on.
We got a lot of people working on those projects.
Projects,
Yeah.
So, in intention today, I want to get an understanding of your message. You've been raised quite a bit, but just your vision, your message, and just really make sure everything here feels like a good fit in terms of doing the TED Talk. Just to be like more than straight up and honest, so at any point in the call, I'll challenge you. If I don't think you're a good fit, I'll let you know, and I hope that's cool. But
yes,
we're still friends. I'm just here to be more than honest with you, if that's all good.
That's perfect.
Nice. Did you watch the webinar from TED?
Yes, I did.
What resonated with you most there?
Okay, so he was talking. He really pushed out a lot. Okay, I wanted to watch it again, but I had to log back in to watch it again. So he was telling about his journey and how he got here, and some of the things that I resonate with is how to push the message, how to get into the field that pushes the product or the brand. Me. The only thing that I could gather, because I have so many, okay, I have so many, and I have so many people working on it. How can I fit into TED Talk and migrate around the societies that we're living in with everything going on in my life, with everything going on in the world? We are reflection. What I pulled from that is how to push a strategic message that opens up into something more. This is more than just a talk. This is a revolution. This is an experience that people are now having. How can we incorporate what he said to me in that 6 minutes? How to bring direction, guidance, more than just a message, a movement. How can we do that? And the only way we can do that is live as transparent as we can and push a message that brings positive thoughts to the climate that we're in. That's it. The message mainly gave me an awareness that talking fast is not going to get it. The first part of the video, it was a little fast, right? So it gave a, and then once you got like to the middle to the end, it slowed down a little bit. So I was like, okay, well, was that a message to me? To say I don't have to talk fast. Then I had to check my phone to make sure that I didn't accidentally speed it up. Okay, but I didn't. It had a little bit of information in it, but mainly it was to make sure I watched it. It mainly made sure I watched the video, and I experienced him and how he told me his journey. This is 10 years from what I read on the caption said. This was him 10 years ago. And his journey from 10 years ago. So I watched that. I went live. I talked about it. And now we're here.
What's your message? Like, what is it that you really want to get across to the world on the stage?
On the stage is multiple messages that reach different demographics. It's not one message. It is a message that can reach all of the demographics that we're dealing with. We're dealing with higher ups. We're dealing with politicals. We're dealing with the natural mom and dad that here in this town that I'm in right now. The message that I push comes from the bottom to the top, as opposed to the top to the bottom. How we're used to doing it is having somebody that's at the top speaking to everybody at the bottom. How I want to see it is somebody from the bottom speaking to everybody at the top. Because a lot of people at the bottom are making it. Okay? They're pushing through all the hurdles and all the odds. Their voices are being silenced because the fear of them, in my opinion, making it will initiate a change. You know, the theory of an ant versus billions of termites. If one ant stands up to a billion termites, what is the issue? The other ants are going to see it, and they're going to stand. The voice of that one ant can make a movement so big that it will wake up the rest of the ants, and the rest of the ants will now start moving. This was a cartoon, and I use it as an example of how the bottom can make the top change their minds. How we can change our corporate environment, how we can change our social environment, how we can change our personal environment by looking at the people who got up. Who got up, who woke up, who stood up, who spoke out. That is the main thing. You can't complain your entire life. You can't just talk about how the system is failing. You can't just bring an idea without motivation. Okay, this is no longer about money. This is about future. This is about wellness. This is about frequency. How do you want to be rich? Do you want to be rich, angry, scared, low frequency, low vibration? Or do you want to walk through the world saying that, you know what, I am wealthy within myself because everybody else around me is doing good. The water is good. The air is good. The vibration is good. The people are good. The people are transparent. The people are no longer out here bashing failure. See these trees around me? See these trees? Okay. We worked on these trees for 7 years. You understand me? That garden down there. We produced that garden and brought it up. We have spent more time working on these trees than we have been working on these humans. Okay? We will spend millions of dollars to make sure that these trees are taken care of, and we'll let a human starve and die. We will not create an industry that is conducive to the societies that we're living in because we're more interested in making a new project, making a new industry. In order for the new industry to work, the people around it got to work. The days of yesterday, whereas in corporations will shut down and leave these people homeless, they're done. We want to end that. We want to make sure that a company or a corporation that comes in, they're dedicating the majority of their time to the communities. No company can discredit the fact that your company has birthed people, has provided homes for people. Because these people work for you, they give you 1/3 of their life. 1/3 of your life goes to a company. And the algorithm that I put out to people is, this is the sum of the average man's life. You get up, you go to work, you make the money, you see something that you want, you spend your money on it. You spend all your money, you get up, you go to work, you make the money, you find something else you want, you spend the money. That's your life. You're not happy. You're not successful. You just get up, go to work, make the money, to spend the money. What we want you to do is, we want you to get up, make a change that makes the money, that makes you happy. Whatever you're going to get in this world, you're going to get it. Okay, you're going to get it. What are you doing with the time that's more valuable because it's running out? You're making something that can last beyond your life that will then extend the essence of your greatness for light years to come. That's the purpose of what we're doing. We're not trying to build something that's going to make me money and tear up everything around me and then leave a legacy years later like majority of these companies, that will leave a legacy that will smear you for the rest of your life. Come from the ashes like a phoenix. Leave a lasting mark that will cause AI to generate you in a way that will prepare you just like a Bible. The Bible prepares that sends a message from thousands of years ago to today. Okay, people still learn from words of wisdom from back in the earlier days of our civilization, which was literally 3,000 years ago. They study it. There is nothing else on the planet Earth that is studied like those religious texts until we started pulling out highly utilized living legends. Okay, they are the byproduct of those 1,000-year-old messages that we are ignoring. Okay, we're looking for something to come from the sky that's going to change us. What's come from the sky has already come from the sky. Okay, it's now walking around us on Earth. Okay, and now we have to acknowledge that the actions that we do represent the God we believe in, regardless of where you're at. You don't see God anywhere. God is not up there. God is in us. Okay, and our actions represent either Him or His counterpart. Okay, so to say, what is the message for the people? The message of the people is to get up and do something that is gonna change the world. And how do you know it's gonna change the world? People are gonna look at somebody that doesn't look like them, don't act like them, don't think like them, and don't move around the way they move around. Doesn't mean I hate you. Look at our education system in America. We're revamping it for these reasons, because in the early days of our country, our education system was changed. Okay, the wise men of our younger days decided that they don't want thinkers; they want workers. So it is in our books that they changed our education system to create more workers, less thinkers. That proved to be detrimental to our American society in today's time, because now you got more workers that don't think. You got more companies that won't think. They make money. Okay, that's why the water's dirty. And how do you continue a company growth? You incorporate laws that allow the byproduct of their chemicals to be dumped in our rivers and streams. You incorporate laws that say now it's okay to have this stuff in your water. Okay, but when you look at what the stuff in your water causes, you then go to a doctor to say, well, my parents gave me this hereditary illness that is now going to kill me. We're going to reduce that. We're going to address that and not penalize that. By our education system being the way it is, that is why our country is the way it is. That is why the world is the way it is. We just found out last year that PFAS travels. Chemicals are now traveling through the soil. What programs do we have put in place? We're working with EWG to work with that. We're working with the local townsmen to start working on safer practices. And we're putting out public speeches and getting everybody else to get moving. We're working in our younger generations. We're not looking at how it was back then. We're not looking at the faults of people. We're gonna draw a line in the sand, okay? And we're gonna let the wind blow it all away, okay? We're not gonna be victims no more. We're gonna be victors, okay? We're not gonna be thinking in a vibration that makes me now want to blame somebody else. We're gonna acknowledge this is how we got here. See, Rome died. The population of Rome did not fail because they were corrupt. No, they didn't fail because they were corrupt. They failed because they had lead pipes, and everybody died of lead poisoning. Okay, the incorporation of such a great system to grade water and how much water people are getting, we use that in America today. Okay, but we learned from Rome. We learned that we don't want to use copper pipes because that would kill everybody. Okay, give them all lead poison. So what do we learn about a lot of our history? To not condemn it, to learn from it. It is within our youth that we create some of the greatest things. It is in our wisdom that we modify the changes to make positive growth. That is the main thing, the main messages. I'm not trying to be more than what I am. I am what I am. Okay, I am a creation of everything that I've lived through and overcome. The challenges that are before me today are achievable in a positive way with critical thinking and understanding. That is the main focus. We're not trying to push an agenda that will distort the image. We're trying to present the image that will make the change. That's it. Anything else would take us on a journey we don't need to be on as TED talkers or anything else.
And why is it important for you to get that message out to the world?
The main message, the main reason to get the message out to the world is so that we can make the changes. We can get the people to think. I know that this is going to be a crazy, crazy, crazy statement for me to make right now. But sitting on this back porch about 4 years ago, while we was doing a lot of things, people thought I had pulled away from religion. Okay, because I consider myself also as a black pope, right? I call the current pope right now, I tell him, I'm your shadow, okay? And what we do together is we work together. Pope Leo, like I have a lot of his stuff in my room right now. I have a little temple, this back porch, the little light right here. This is what we do back here. We present positive vibes and motivation, right? But when Pope Leo came in, we was listening to his, the Pope Leo message of the day, and something amazing happened on this back porch. Within 2 days, these people elected Pope Leo. Now, Pope Leo has already come out saying a lot of amazing things that fell right in line with what we have going on in our agenda. Why is this so important? The influences that we put out into the atmosphere, the vibration that we put, changes the water, changes the air, changes the food, changes a lot of things, right? When I can motivate Pope Leo, the President of the United States, Congress, and all the rest of the people around me to start changing their ways, and I'm at the bottom, to start looking at ways to think of things, and I'm at the bottom, I know with just a little bit more oomph, we can really make the movements happen. We can really articulate this in a way that can adjust why there is so much turmoil about the change that's happening. Why do people feel like all of this stuff is just a bad thing that's happening around our nation? The message and the prayers that I put up is tear it up. Tear it all up. Okay? Don't cause war, just tear it up. Because the fact still remains is that this nation of the United States of America has never done nothing together. Somebody put that stuff in play, and then all of the cultures that's had to live in it, okay? So what we're doing is we're saying, okay, rip it up, and then force all 50 states to build it together. That'll be the first time the nation came together to restructure the Constitution, to restructure the education, to restructure the different cultures that came together to build all 50 states. Okay, we don't work together. We just working under the umbrella of the United States. So what we are telling people is, don't think that Trump is doing things that God has not ordained him to do, or he would not be there. Okay, don't think that Pope being where he's at. That's the first time an American Pope has ever been in history. In history. So what does that mean? God got his eye right on us. Okay? Right on us. All the rest of the countries, he's been dibbling, dabbling, bouncing all around them. Ain't nothing changed over there. Everything good. America. Okay? America, God watching. Okay? And that's why Pope is there. That's why all these things are happening. Sometimes Big Daddy has to move in and what he has to do is he has to make a hard left for you. And know that you're gonna be okay. You've just been so used to, doing it this way that somebody else has to step in and just make a left for you and then make you clean this mess up. Okay, clean this mess up and then do it together. All the races do it together. Okay, we're not gonna have a majority race do it. All y'all do it together. That way, at least you know you own something now. Okay, now now we done solved the higher levels, let's go into all the 19,000 plus cities and towns, and let's start with the states. Okay, each one of y'all states, you've been completely relying on the federal government to save you. Every time something happens, you rely on the federal government to save you. Those days are over. You're gonna save yourselves, or you're gonna lose your job. Okay, you're not gonna. The federal government's purpose is to keep cohesiveness amongst all 50 nations, to be the people who, if you are failing, we step in to help. Okay, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take care of your own education. You're gonna take care of your own people. You're gonna take care of your own residents. Any issues that's going on there, you develop a plan to sit with and get it together. You're not gonna rely solely on this. You're not gonna tell me, well, our government just cut $80 billion from our state. How are we going to do it? Well, Emperor Timothy just did a study on your state and found out that the $80 billion that you're losing, you're throwing away in the trash. So go in that trash can, grab the $80 billion out that you just threw, that the government just took out and that you just threw away, and reuse it within your state. You know, we're not trying to be mean to you. We're just trying to make sure that the governorship that you've been elected to have, that you earned it and that you deserve to be in it. We don't want no more excuses about why the federal government is doing this. We should not be caring. Okay, we should only be using our governors to make sure that the president is in line. Okay, the Congress should be used to make sure that the laws are in line. The judges are being put in place to make sure that Congress and the president is in line. Okay, we the people make sure all of them are in line. We are the ultimate oversight committees. We are not no organization of people that just live in the country. Neither is your nation. Your nation is not just a bunch of people that just sit in a room and just live their lives out. No, they check on their government too. And that's been the problem. If we just pass the buck to somebody else that we elected so that we can live this fake facade of an American dream, we're going to find out that our dirty water is getting dirtier. We're going to find out that the air is getting dirtier. We're going to find out that the food, they just print that stuff out of a printing press. Okay? And there is no care until we all start dying. They summed up our life last year with a study that they did, okay? They took 50 rats and they put them in a box. And they gave the rats everything you need, right? The rats, they took rats. See, rats are the best thing to use when you want to study humans, okay? So they took these rats and they did a 5-year study on them. And they gave the rats everything that they needed to live. The rats instantly built an economy. I built a social system. Everything was working very well, right? Until the rats ran out of things to do. Then chaos started. Gangs created. The rats gangs started attacking other rat gangs for no reason. The females stopped taking care of their children, and the men only groomed themselves all day. Okay? Within 5 years, total chaos happened inside of that little perfect little world, and all the rats died. Okay? That study, the lifespans of those rats was then dumped on American and the world. Come to find out, we've been given everything. Okay, we have an endless abundance of food. There is nothing about us, and guess what? We're starting to run out of things to do. Okay, then we're going to start doing the exact same thing. When we run these tests and when we do these tests, we need to really evaluate what we're really seeing. Okay, and when we don't acknowledge these things right here, we just look at them and like, they're just little small tests. Then you start noticing that systems are saying by 2040, your population is going to start going extinct. Okay, there is nothing that you're going to do about it. Nothing that you know that you can do about it. It's going to happen in such a nice way that it's only going to create a new society of people who consider themselves to be more elite than the people who are dying. Okay. So, but in the end, we're all going to die. So how do we minimize change, divert this? Starting now. Start now. Create these talks. Get these thinkers in. Get these investors in. We need people with money in them audiences that are listening to these people and can say, hey, we're creating a think tank right here at TED Talk. Okay? And we're going to bring some powerful minds that have common sense ideas. Okay? That can then turn around and say, like, I got a guy right now, right? This guy been working for 2 years. Do you know what he does? Takes plastic. He melts it down and returns it back to fuel, right? I got another guy. We went down to see him when he started this invention, whereas he's sucking the moisture right out the air and turning it back into water, drinkable water. Got another lady stays down here in Woburn. She got this machine that you just take it and you just dip the water. You just take a bucket of salt water, and something happens in it, and it turns the salt water into energy. Into energy. Just that scooping water out the ocean. These ideas, if put in the right people's hands, could change everything. Literally. These people, what I do is I'm like a sponge. I just suck them all up. I just bring them all in. I just say, listen, you're seeds. You're seeds. I'm a seed. You're a seed. We all a seed. Somebody's going to water us. And once they water us, they're going to find out we just like the trees. We got a lot of branches. We got a lot of people. We got a lot of people attached to us. We're better than these bills that go through our Congresses. Okay. The attachments that are to us have been determined to not give negative byproduct. The industries that we have right now, we got to find a place to put the byproduct. So we bury it, okay? Or we dump it in the ocean somewhere. We need to really focus on how we transmit the signals so that we reduce the byproduct and increase the production. If your idea is not reducing the byproduct, which is the chemicals, which is the stuff that we don't need no more, we need to minimize how we utilize you and really think about how I am the one who went against wind turbines. As effective and efficient as these things are, they're giving the whales headaches. Okay?